Kilmacud Crokes are the All-Ireland champions and have done it in the most dramatic of circumstances with a last-moment save from Conor Ferris, denying Watty Graham's and Conor Glass, the midfielder, the Derry midfielder, the All-Star. It was only last year that Ferris was involved in that late, I suppose, collapse when Kilcoo got the last-second goal. He was holding on to possession, booted it out the field, and Kilcoo turned it around and took it up the other end and buried it into the back of the net to win the All-Ireland. And that would have been devastating for him, even though it was a team. You know, it takes a team to concede a goal. There's always more than one mistake. But a brilliant moment from him here. Glen obviously making that last little burst to try and get back into the game. High ball pumped into the area. It broke behind the defenders in front of Glass. He went to side-foot it into the back of the net instead of going for power. And a brilliant one-handed save, low down to strike from Conor Ferris, who the celebrations on the full-time whistle were brilliant, very joyous scenes for Kilmacud Crokes. And then underneath us here on the Hogan stand, you could see Conor Ferris running over to presumably his family, arms outstretched, absolutely delighted. So a brilliant moment for him. And, you know, if you were told before the game that Paul Mannion and Shane Walsh wouldn't score from play, but Crokes would still win, you'd be thinking that was pretty long odds. But that's the way it turned out. Shane Walsh scored a penalty, scored a couple of frees at a 45 and was good throughout. Ball carrier, driving at Glen, wearing him down. Mannion, he's been out injured for a long time, popped over a nice free at one stage. Shane Cunningham very good with a couple of points, and Dan O'Brien coming up from the back, he was excellent. Keane O'Connor also made a big difference when he came on and knocked over a beauty from about 40 yards out during the second half. And Glen had made the perfect start. Danny Tallon with a brilliant goal inside the first few moments. Just going straight for the jugular to really settle the team down. They went from 1-3 to just a point ahead. And after scoring 4 of the first 6 chances inside 15 minutes, Glen didn't actually create another opportunity, take another effort for the rest of the first half. And Kilmacud Crokes missed 5 of their first 6 chances, and from then on took over for the rest of that first half. They were full value, and Aidan Jones had a chance to bury a goal at the start of the second half. There was a great save from Conlon Bradley, who just came out and smothered the shot. And it really looked like Crokes were going to take over the game. They went a nice bit ahead. They were 1-7. Well, they were 1-5 to 1-3 ahead, and it felt like it was a decent lead. And a couple of times Glen had chances to get goals. Stephen O'Hara, he ran through and he was very much one-on-one, but he slipped as he was taking the shot, and he had another man outside him who he could have fed. From there on out, Crokes were good. As I said, Keane O'Connor, he got himself a point. Shane Walsh knocked over a free, which ended up being the decisive one. That was in the 68th minute, just extended out to 2. Ultimately, it finished 1-11 to 1-9. But that save from Glass at the end, and then there was another little moment. Another 45 went in, and I think it was Conlon McGuckian had a shot from around the 21 low, just went wide. Some of the fans from Glen, they started celebrating, thought that it hit the back of the net, but it hadn't. Overall, Crokes were good value for it. They created 27 scoring chances to 17. Were on the front foot for long spells, but as we've seen last year with both All-Ireland club finals ending in dramatic circumstances with last-second winners, it could have happened here as well. So with drama to the end, there was a really high standard of football. A lot of players played really well. I thought Jack Doherty, Alex Doherty, they were very impactful. Conor Glass would probably have liked to get into the game a little bit more. On the other side, Rory O'Carroll with some good turnovers in the first half. Shane Cunningham, Darren Mullen, excellent, scored a couple of points as ever. Really good for Kilmacud Crokes. So All-Ireland champions, Kilmacud Crokes, ending a famine that goes back to 2009. Excellent performance here. Just a reminder, we have a football coaching clinic coming up. This one is in Derryloughlin in Tyrone, coming up with Conlon Gilligan, Conor Gormley, and one other special guest that will be added pretty soon. So keep an eye out for that. And also, if you want to go to our store, that is the home of the OurGame merchandise. So go check that out.